My Little Family by Amanda Willmann. This is what my little family looks like today. My husband and I are in our early 30s. Our daughter Aubrey is 4 and our son Bryce is about a year and a half. It's hard to believe that it all really began in high school 14 years ago. Our story begins at Judson High School in Converse, Texas, home of the Rockets, in the spring of 1998. Justin and I were graduating seniors when, with a little help from our mutual friends and younger siblings, we began dating just before senior prom. After graduation, we both stayed in San Antonio. I attended the University of Texas at San Antonio, where I joined a sorority and eventually became a teacher. Justin went to St. Mary's University, joined the baseball team, and won the NCAA Division II National Championship in 2001. He graduated with a degree in electrical engineering. We married in 2005 and had a great time over the next few years, going out and traveling. Then, one day, we realized if we wanted to have kids before we were 30, it was time to get started. To my great surprise, we were expecting almost immediately. I think it was God's way of saying, it's about time, or simply that He agreed with our plans. Life changed dramatically after that. It's funny how you never really realized how much free time you had before your kids were born. Our daughter Aubrey Ann was born March 21, 2008. I was teaching at the time and had just left school on maternity leave at the start of spring break. The next Friday we were induced and Aubrey arrived right on time at 5:31 p.m., weighing in at 7 pounds 5 ounces and 1 week before her due date. It's amazing how a child's personality shows up almost immediately. Aubrey loves to be outside any chance she gets. She likes to play with and boss around her younger brother and cousins, and she's quite meticulous when it comes to cleanup or organizing something. She also tends to be quite quiet and observant in a new situation before she decides to jump in. I'm quite sure we'll have some very interesting times in the future, as her personality is very similar to mine. Our son Bryce Robert was born on September 9, 2010. I was headed to my weekly doctor's appointment where it was discovered that I was already in labor. The doctor ordered me to head straight to the hospital, which I did after stopping by the house to pack and meet my husband. This was 2 weeks before his due date, so not only had I not packed, I also had baby clothes all over the floor of his nursery, where they ended up staying for at least another month and a half. When we arrived at the hospital, it was almost noon, and we waited for about an hour before we could get a room due to the fact that they were all full. Bryce was born just before 11 p.m. Justin was happy, quite happy, that Bryce was kind enough to wait until after the football game to make his grand entrance. After having been in labor for almost 12 hours, Bryce was taken to the neonatal intensive care unit for observation and precautionary antibiotics. 2 days later, as he was finishing up his antibiotics, he was placed under the lights for jaundice treatment. I was very comforted by the attention he received in the NICU, as he was by far the largest baby there, weighing 8 pounds 9 ounces at birth. And this was 2 weeks early. By the time it was over, Mommy was very well rested, and after a 5-day stay at the hospital, we were able to take our little man home. Now, as I look at my little family, it's hard to believe that it all began my senior year in high school. Before writing this little story, I looked for statistics on marriages that began in high school or college, and the numbers really aren't in our favor, but I'm not worried. We made it happily through college together, happily through the beginning years with our children, and we have 2 sets of happily married grandparents to help guide us. No matter what happens in the future, I would never replace what has happened thus far, and I look forward to many happy times ahead.